Hey guys, welcome back, and I just want to thank everyone for checking out the first two rounds of my 7-round NFL mock draft. I'll be continuing that here throughout this upcoming week, and I just want to take some time though to keep you guys updated on some of the rumors that have been circulating this weekend regarding the draft. And I'll start with Johnny Manziel. And over the course of the last 4 or 5 days, you've had anonymous sources and scouts. All right, for the teams picking at 3, 4, and 5, the Jaguars, the Browns, and the Raiders come out and say that at 4 and 5, the Browns and the Raiders actually prefer Derek Carr over Johnny Manziel. And also, the Jacksonville Jaguars are probably looking more for a conventional pocket passer, a play action, throw the ball down the field kind of quarterback, of which Manziel probably doesn't fit perfectly into that mold. I thought that was interesting, especially the reports that the Browns and the Raiders prefer Carr over Manziel. I personally don't see that when I look at the tape at both these guys. I did scouting reports on both of them, and I have Manziel as my second best quarterback in this draft. I still would be very surprised if he lasts past pick 8 to the Vikings. I think he's still a very good candidate to go in the top 5. You don't know if these scouts are just basically setting smoke screens. Are they serious? Is this something we see pick up momentum where Derek Carr becomes now in that top 3 quarterback discussion? Remains to be seen here as the pro days happen. As the evaluations really sort of kick into a higher tempo here through the month of March and certainly April. But something to monitor will be the status certainly of Johnny Manziel. The Jets at pick 18. Brandon Cooks, Peter King thinks, would be a great fit for what the Jets need at pick 18. I think what King is referring to is the fact that there's no doubt the Jets need a playmaker. Do they need a guy like a Brandon Cooks? What do they view Brandon Cooks as? Do they view him as a slot receiver who can make plays and be electrifying? Or do they view him as a guy who can play outside, be a legitimate threat in that respect? Because if they just view him as a slot guy, I don't think Jeremy Curley is as good as Brandon Cooks, but he's been pretty productive in that role for the Jets. But if they think Cooks is an outside guy, maybe he's a guy, they take there at pick 18. If they have a choice between Eric Ebron and a guy like Brandon Cooks, who do they choose? The playmaking tight end or the small, productive, lightning-fast receiver? It'd be interesting to see what the Jets would do in a situation like that. I would side with a guy like Ebron, even though Cooks is one of my top 5 most underrated players in this draft, and I have him going later in the first round to the Browns in my latest mock draft. But just something interesting from Peter King that I took note of. Louis Nix III, it's being thought now in a lot of circles that he's just going to really translate to a nose tackle at the NFL level. If that's the case, there's going to be already a limited market for teams looking for his services. On the flip side, though, to me, he's far and away the best nose tackle in this draft. So does that lead him to getting drafted above where we think or lead to him sliding? I have it leading to him sliding here in the second round in my mock to the Steelers. I think he'd be a wonderful get for the Steelers in the middle of the second round. I think Nix is a top 25 player in this draft overall. But again, if you're pigeonholed and can only play one position in one scheme, it could definitely hinder where he gets drafted. People don't look at him as a guy like a Star Lotulelei, who was thought to be a nose tackle, 4-3 tackle sort of hybrid that could fit in any scheme. But Louis Nix, a heck of a player, and someone's going to get a real value at the nose tackle position. The offensive line, the offensive tackles more in particular. Cyrus Kouandjio and Jake Matthews. To me, I have Matthews as my second best tackle, and I have Kouandjio actually as my 5th best tackle. When you have knee arthritis and knee tendonitis, rumors surrounding you at the combine. He's a guy who tore his ACL his freshman year. To me, that's going to downgrade you. Never mind the fact that I just don't think he's as good as the top 3 guys. But some GMs and scouts anonymously saying they think that Cyrus Kouandjio has a bigger upside than a Jake Matthews. I was surprised by that only because of, one, Jake Matthews' production, and secondly, the fact that Matthews has been an All-American type player at right tackle and at left tackle. Do teams, view Cyrus Kouandjio, in the same ilk as they view DJ Fluker, who met and exceeded a lot of expectations that teams had for him this year. I don't view Quanjo as being even as good a prospect as Fluker, but we'll see. I'm just surprised. I look at Matthews as being significantly better prospect than Quanjo. I mean, do you guys think that Quanjo is a better product or better potentially than Matthews? Let me know. Hit me up in the comments and let me know. Maybe I'm off on that one. And lastly, a guy you're hearing whose stock is significantly falling here on a lot of people's boards is Anthony Barr, the outside linebacker from UCLA. You either have people who say he's falling down their board, or you have people say he's going to get overdrafted to a team that's desperate for outside linebacker, pass rusher help, in the top half of the first round. I have him going pick 11 to the Titans, but, I might revisit that in future mock drafts if his stock keeps on falling. I mean, you're hearing people saying he's not strong, he's not a good enough, pure football player, he's not tough enough. Those are things that are pretty harsh words, actually, to say about a prospect. But we'll see, because he does have that raw athleticism. He was pretty productive on the field at UCLA. And again, you're going to hear a lot of things said about these prospects here in the next couple of months. It's hard to tell when they're legitimate rumors, when they're things people just say to maybe put themselves in a better situation to land a prospect for their team. But that Anthony Barr stuff definitely caught my eye. Guys, let me know what you think of some of these rumors. Hit me up in the comments. Hit me up on Twitter as well. Be sure to subscribe to my channel. I'm continuing my mock draft, but I cover the NFL wall-to-wall on here other than that, guys. So be sure to subscribe. It's completely free. Have a great night.